1. The monsoon food inflation myth. Just check out past data. GS Paper 3, Indian Economy, Food Inflation. Will good monsoon brings down food inflation? After 2 years of deficient rainfall, the India Meteorological Department's projection of above normal rains has led to hopes that food inflation will fall. Evidence on this is sparse, though. In the last 15 years, the correlation between monsoon rainfall, that is percentage deviation from normal, and food price inflation is a lowly 0.14, ideally this should be negative. Of the last 8 episodes of normal and above normal monsoon, only 2, financial year 4 and financial year 6, saw food inflation of under 5%, while in 5 it was over 8%. Counterfactually, of the last 7 episodes of below normal rains, 3 still had food inflation of under 5%. Food price inflation is more dispersed, high inflation across multiple categories, during periods of normal, above normal rains, compared with periods of below normal rains. Therefore, even if monsoon rains are normal, we do not expect food price inflation to fall from current levels. So if not rains, what drives food inflation in India? First, rural wages are very important, which is not surprising since human labor accounts for 25 to 35% of the total cost of cultivation of crops such as rice and wheat. Hence, periods of low rural wage growth suppresses food price inflation from both the demand, weak rural demand, and supply, lower input costs, side. Second, minimum support prices, MSP, directly feed into food inflation by forming a floor for wholesale food prices and indirectly by impacting inflation expectations, rural wages, and by boosting rural terms of trade. In the last 2 years, despite weak monsoons, cereals inflation has been low at 3.5% as the government has limited MSP hikes to 2.5 to 4.0%. Third, other agriculture input costs, such as diesel, electricity, pesticides and agricultural machinery are also important. Fourth, global food prices are important because of their influence on products that India imports, sugar and edible oil, and because international prices are one of the factors used to determine MSPs of crops. Of these 4 factors, rural wages and MSP are the most important. Estimate that every 10% increase in rural wages pushes up CPI food inflation by about 3 percentage points, pp. Every 10% rise in MSP raises CPI food inflation by 2.5 pp. 2. India applies for NSG membership ahead of PM Narendra Modi's US visit. GS Paper 2, Effect of Policies and Politics of Developed and Developing Countries on India's Interests, Indian Diaspora. Why is it in news recently? New Delhi has quietly submitted its formal application for membership of the Nuclear Suppliers Group, NSG, ahead of PM Narendra Modi's visit to the US starting June 4. The application was pushed through on May 12, almost a week before Pakistan sent its case. And the first big test will be on June 9 to the 10th at a closed-door NSG meet in Vienna. New Delhi is counting on Washington to send out a strong and clear message that will set the tone for the crucial NSG technical meet on June 9 to the 10th, where India's application will be assessed. The action will then shift to the June 24 NSG plenary in Seoul. where the case is likely to be put up on the agenda. Why India needs NSG membership? If India needs to meet its climate change commitments of aiming for 40% non-fossil fuels in the country's energy mix, it needs to be formally a part of the Nuclear Trading Club. India's NSG membership will automatically ensure the business environment is kept more predictable and stable regardless of change in governments. The way forward. By tradition, NSG is a closed-door club that takes decisions only by consensus. While the group doesn't require a member to be a signatory to the Non-Proliferation Treaty (NPT), its guidelines are aimed at checking proliferation and misuse. China's questioning has been on the special treatment for India. And that's why it floated a criteria-based approach, whereby any country which meets a certain set of agreed norms could be considered for membership, including Pakistan.